Yep.
Sarah, can you hear us?
I forgot to unmute.
Oh.
Sorry I'm late, and I was turning off my fan. It's too loud. And it's 6:03 p.m. and we have quorum, so we're going to start the meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order right now. Let me get the exact time. Okay, it's 6:03 p.m. Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. This is an executive committee meeting. The people present at the meeting it's myself, President Sarah Clendenning, and then Ben Wadsworth is Vice President, and Fernanda Sanchez is Secretary, and Vincent Montalvo is Treasurer. And so, yeah, without any further ado, Secretary Sanchez, could you please do roll call?
I will now begin roll call. Sarah Clendenning,
Present.
Ben Wadsworth,
Present.
Fernanda Sanchez here, Vincent Chente Montalvo,
Present.
everybody is here. That concludes roll call.
Yay. All right. This is an executive committee meeting. The executive committee sets the agenda for the upcoming general board. So the Excom is usually the week before. Our general board meeting will be on Thursday, October, is it the 7th? October 7th at 6 p.m. on Zoom. And so this is a sort of a run through of the hypothetical or the agenda as it is submitted to us. Okay. 1, call meeting to order. Okay, we already did that. Roll call. 3, non-agenda public comments, 2 minutes per person. Please press *9 or raise your little hand if you're on Zoom.
Okay, we got Puppet. Please state your name.
Hey.
Please state your name. You are muted.
So you press the button. I told you how to do it. All right. Yes, that's right. The illustrious Goat Puppet is here. Well, everybody's real excited. Yes, that's right. So as we go and we battle the underbelly of CD1 and the treachery of what Gil Cedillo did, voting yes to ban 300 feet protests from your home and a vaccine mandate. How the hell are we going to comply with a vaccine mandate? Let's say somebody sneaks in the back window of your bar and they're sitting there. And then the police come in and go, show me your papers. And then they go, no, I'm sitting here. Goat Puppet let me come in the establishment without checking my vaccine. And then you go, no, that's a lie. And the city issues you a $5,000 administrative fine. That is the future, people. Wednesday is the big vote. Thank you to Joey Luis Buckets of the 15th District for voting no. John Lee, let's hope he votes no.
Oh, wow.
But Gil is on the wrong side. And finally, Gil Cedillo is going to clean up MacArthur Park. What does that have to do for you? Not a goddamn thing. But down here in the South, we're real pleased. Gil Cedillo, a devil and sometimes an angel.
All right. Good to know that yeah, so they're doing the meeting again. I guess it was, yeah, they keep kind of amending the motion, right? And so it's coming up this week again, so we can appoint a speaker, you know. Yeah, I didn't speak last time. So. Anyway, any more public comments? Please raise your hand or press *9. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Where is Dunn? Where's the Dunn parasite running your meeting? Don't forget, Dunn's really helping you with your lease. They're going to do whatever it takes to screw you. You should probably contact the former Dunn director of being an asshole, Simi Park, about it, because she'll talk to you offline and recommend. Where's your Dunn representative helping you? They said they're here as your advocate, but they don't, because they hire the lowest form of people over there. They're a bunch of losers. They really are. They generally do not help neighborhood councils unless you believe in their narrative. Their narrative is, you better listen to them or go fuck off. They're the most racist bureaucrats I know. Their attitude is rape, 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 and who cares, and they're always victims. They have a whole, they have a 3-page template on how to speak. They, as you probably have dealt with, they always say, we recommend. They never state so, and that's done because of a legal reason. Also, your eviction. Who's the city attorney? Who's the client? I thought you guys are the client. Isn't that kind of a conflict? Oh, they can tell you go fuck yourself. So where's Beltran on this and Dunn? Nowhere. And they won't do anything in writing. It's a disappointment. And you guys get to pay for it. Too bad. They go fuck themselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sarah, we have a board member, Richard Larson. Would you like to recognize him since he's a board member? And
Board member comment at a committee meeting? Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't have super quorum, right? I mean, he's just community, he's public commenting. I don't know, whatever. Richard?
Right. Well, thank you. That's kind of like what I wanted to ask you about. So I'm not a panelist. Is that what's happening? Okay. So I have 2 points to make. First one is that when you don't allow board members to be at least recognized at a meeting, i.e. Viewed as part of the panel, there's no way that anybody would know if they're not violating one of the bylaws about super quorum, which you just mentioned. I mean, how would any board member know? You know, they just wouldn't know, because there's no way of knowing. You keep them in the dark, you keep them off camera, you keep them off microphone, and you know, you let people interrupt and you know, talk for more than the 2 minutes. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of a problem. I don't know why you don't want anybody to see me, but they hear me. I believe they hear me, and they're wondering those same things too. Anyway, the other point was on the agenda item. So I just wanted to make you aware of something. According to, you know, parliamentary procedure, as we've known it for the last 600 years, is that a motion is a formal proposal by a member that there's a certain action. So on the agenda today, I see you have, one of them here is a motion to approve applications for open seats. Well, we never did that. And there was no vote announced. So I just don't know what you're proposing here on this agenda. It doesn't seem to be properly formed. So those are my 2 points. You gave comment on the last public comment. I was wondering if you would respond to mine here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more public comments?
Nope, we just have Puppet raise his hand again, but he already made a comment.
Oh, Puppet already made a comment. Okay, well, let's move on to community and board announcements. Item number 4. Do any community members, would anybody like to make an announcement that's from the community? Please raise your hand or press *9.
Okay, we got Puppet.
The Puppet.
Puppet, if you can unmute yourself.
Puppet.
Okay, maybe we can come back to Puppet. I'll move down to the next. Caller in user 2. Please state your name and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Madam President, I want you to copy this section down, 54952.2, subsection C, and number 6.
Okay.
When someone says under the Robert Rules of Order, they never cite stuff. Well, when you deal with attorneys on the phone, they kind of cite stuff. So I'm citing you a particular issue why you should not have let that person talk. And I'm not going to write a Brown Act violation. Don't worry about that. It says the attendance of majority members of the legislative body at an open notice meeting of a standing committee, in which it's a standing committee of that body, provide that the members of the legislative body who are not members of the standing committee attend only as observers. They can't give public comment. They really can't. So I don't blame you. This is a done issue, which they never teach you. That's why I think they're the biggest shitheads around and the biggest losers. And your city attorney definitely does not, in my past experience, put stuff in writing where you at least have a framework. So I just giving you an FYI, I give quotations. It's under the Brown Act, 54952.2. I gave you the subsections. That's a citation, and that preempts the Robert's Rules of Order. That other person wants to disagree with me, so be it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll make sure that gets to the board member.
Yeah. All right. Any more public comments?
Okay. Okay. Let's do.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Well, what's happening? Well, I mean, they were almost tricked into doing that naughty thing and allowing those other board members to get public comment, which Goat Puppet likes to see because he does clear and corrects. But now it's been stopped by some do-cutter. Yes, that's right. And as you know, it's a very, very difficult thing to think about. You're a board member, but you have to remain silent. Yes. It's amazing, isn't it, how laws work? And there's a reason why the law is that way. Uh-oh. Because we do not want the undue influence of board members involved in our pretty little committee meeting. The committee is set up of the committee members under the bylaws and ordained by the Catholic Church in Rome to set this agenda and do the right thing. Now, when we're at the board, everybody is free to log on, scream at each other, make false accusations, drama, and sexual innuendo. Rated R. R for ridiculous. And that's what we're going to do at the board meeting. So right now, the only people allowed to talk is Goat Puppet, a do-gooder, and the board members. Everybody else is out of luck. So Goat Puppet moves to take over the meeting as ex officio chair. Oh, I second that. Yes. Goat Puppet, preventing Dunn from hurting you any more than they have.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any more community comments? Announcements?
Yeah, just given right now that the one of the callers called in on the Brown Act and the statute, I was reading it. It does state that, and we have 2 board members with their hands raised, Gilbert and Richard Larson.
Okay.
So it's up to you, President, whether you want to recognize them or not. But I would suggest, being on a member of the executive committee, that we look into it with Dunn and not allow them to participate now because it may be violating and tainting the process.
Yeah, this has been an issue for a while. I mean, public comments, I know, are off limits. Community and board announcements. If we let Richard speak, should we then let Gil speak?
I think given right now, because we've been warned already, we should look into it, because if not, it could taint the whole process of the creation of the agenda.
Okay. Okay, any more community announcements?
Okay, no, we just for the record, we have Richard Larson and Gil Revelo's hand was up, but
Yeah.
due to the fact that it might be a Brown Act violation, we're not going to recognize them because they're not part of the committee.
Yeah.
But the other hands that are up are people that have spoken already.
Okay. Secretary Sanchez, could you please take note of that? That we had 2 other board members present, speaking at the meeting today. Or, I mean, Richard and Gil were present. Okay, so we have no more community announcements. Do we have any board member announcements?
I don't have any.
Bernie, do you have any board member announcements?
Not on my end.
Okay, let me think. We have a lot of pending issues, but I can get to them when we get to the items. All right, so we have no, Ben, do you have an announcement? Anybody? No?
The only one was Gil sent out a request for an addition to our agenda.
Oh. Okay. When did he send out that request?
I saw it earlier today.
Okay, that was late because the agenda, yeah, it was posted 72 hours before this meeting. So, yeah, but the dates were posted ahead of time on our website of the meetings. We're like 2 months ahead now, or I mean, yeah, we have meetings posted projected into the future until like November or whatever. Okay, so we have no more board member announcements. So let's move on to item number 5, executive committee discussion / setting agenda for general board meeting, October 7th at 6 p.m. That's this Thursday. Okay, so we'll move on to committee announcements. And that will be an item. Yeah, so executive committee, let me know if I'm missing any of the committees. Executive committee, parade committee, programs and services committee, outreach and events committee, bylaws committee, government liaison committee, LGBT alliance liaison, and art liaison.
We're also missing the new sustainable.
Okay, so there hasn't been, I know that we don't have to change the bylaws or standing rules, right? To create that, that's an ad hoc, right?
Yes, that one was already created.
Okay, so
So right now it's just probably under a new agenda items is appointment of members to it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so I'll just write a little note here. And then, yeah, some of the other committees we haven't appointed yet, like elections committee and grievance committee, but we will soon. Okay, so we'll move on to funding agenda items. A, discussion and possible motion to approve September 2021 MER, monthly expenditure report. And then new agenda items, announcement of LHNC vacancies as of October 3rd, 2021, business rep, area 4 resident rep, and area 7 resident rep. B, motion to approve applications for open seats received between 9/16/21, that was our last meeting, and 10/7/21, our future general boards. So, I mean, people can submit applications up to the last minute. So we don't know who has applied yet. C, DTSC update and announcement regarding Avenue 34 soil testing, 141 West Avenue 34, Los Angeles, California, 90031. D, discussion and possible action on letter to CD1 and City Attorney regarding the eviction of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council from their city office at 3516 North Broadway by CD1. Okay. E, discussion and possible action on letter and community impact statement regarding CF 180629 Naud Street, 1716 to 1756 North Spring Street, 1715 to 1749 North Naud Street / street vacation / revocable permit, our permit. And it's a letter regarding quality of life issues resulting from raves, Naud and Spring. Nuisance noise that exceeds decibel levels. The decibel limit affecting, it's affecting Lincoln Heights residents, yes. And William Mead. Let's see. Okay, F. Discussion and possible action on letter and community impact statement regarding CF 210576 El Pueblo de Los Angeles Historic Monument, a monument for the 1871 anti-Chinese massacre / memorial, where 19 Chinese civilians were murdered in public lynching. And then we would move on to item 6, non-agenda public comments, 2 minutes per person. 7, attendance update. And then, yeah, so
So I would like to make a motion
mhm,
to accept the agenda as is with the addition
mhm,
of just the appointment to the Sustainability Committee. And
okay,
any of the other committees that might be appointed at this meeting, that they be added to the agenda.
okay.
I have a question. Do any of these items, are any of them going to have a presentation by anyone?
Yeah, so let's see. Item C, I think DTSC will give an announcement. I have to talk to Jessica. Let's see. D, I want to invite CD1. They don't want to come, but I guess I will invite Jose Rodriguez and Raquel Beltran and Mike Long and City Attorney and Gil Cedillo. And, you know, we have all the historic documents on our website regarding the lease since 1981. Anyway, yeah, so,
I'll second the motion.
okay. And let me think here. Oh, and then for the Naud Street, for item E, we would have a presenter. Yeah, it would be probably Vicky. Some community members, yeah. And for F, it's a board member, her husband is a historian and knows a lot about the Chinese massacre and wants to do a presentation. I'm trying to think if we have anything else to add to this. Vacancies, open seats, Avenue 34, blah, blah, blah. I want to do an attendance update that's very comprehensive. It's taking a lot of time for me to make this spreadsheet that goes back the past year, but I'm hoping to present it on Thursday. What else? And that will be item 7. And in our bylaws, it states that board members have to join a minimum of 1 committee. And we have board members that aren't on any committees. So I don't know if I should announce that or, you know, appoint them to a committee. But it's a requirement. Yeah, I think that's it. So.
I think that announcement can come under when we're talking about committees and the appointment of the ones to the sustainability, that members should, you know, step up. If they don't step up, they'll be appointed.
Yeah.
They can get the liberty of knowing which one they might want to get into, government, you know, LGBT, you know, ARC, or whichever ones are going to come on.
Yeah, I mean, it is a violation. It's grounds for removal from the board if you do not, if you're not a member of at least 1 committee. And, you know, I just want people to know the rules. Yeah, I mean, you have to be on a committee. What else to do? I guess that's it. Do we have any other funding items like with the storage space or anything?
No, all of that is office expense, and so that's automatic. That just gets paid through there, and I send the receipts in. But we have no other, just the MER for September and probably October. Maybe that's what we should put on the October. So 2 separate items would be discussion and possible motion to approve September's 2021 MER, and the same wording except with the October on it.
Okay, and I want to add an item. So I want to add the minutes from, I think we're missing minutes. Like our board was seated on the 16th, but I was part of an Excom meeting on May 13th. We owe minutes. So I want to submit minutes for maybe, is it like 3 meetings? Is that too many?
No, we can add them on until we catch up. So
Mhm.
I would start from the first one and then work our way up. Maybe so we don't clog up the agenda. We put at the most 2 to 3 of them.
Mhm.
And then it'll be important to make sure we get the minutes out to everybody so they can read them
Mhm.
and pass them on the board
Okay,
and then
yeah.
catch up.
What about consent calendars? I mean, I don't know a lot about that, but I was talking to a member from Echo Park NC, and they put like non-controversial items on these consent calendars. What?
I mean, you can do them, but I mean, it's just, I think it just causes 2 different platforms.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
some people do that because they don't want that tension. But I think sometimes that tension's needed, just, from the public so they can see how important the issue is to the community and
Mhm.
keep board members well aware of what the top issues are in their communities. Because they'll be different from each region, right? In our sectors. But
Mhm.
I think most people are stuck on the same issues that everyone else is. But we
Yeah.
can try it to see how it works out. I mean, sometimes they're good because you can get through a faster agenda that doesn't have the conflicting items
Mhm.
to an agenda that has maybe 1 or 2 hot topic items.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny because the minutes are a hot topic item. Kind of the most mundane things are hot topic items. But I just wanted to announce, yeah, we have a YouTube channel where I've posted all of our meetings, or most of them. We have like 22 meetings on there already, with timestamps and everything, so you can click ahead, and they're translated too. So, all right. So, yeah. So the minutes item that would be under just new agenda items. Could we add that as item A?
Yeah, I would put it separate for itself and just put
Okay.
minutes of the meetings. And then we would put minutes from like the general board meeting of March, April, May of 2021.
Mhm.
And then do separate agenda items for each one.
Okay, I got you. So A, B, C, D. And then our committees, yeah, they owe minutes as well, but it's a parade committee, but that was like 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, okay. So we have a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have to like motion to add all these items individually or?
Yeah, because we originally motioned just what was on here and just adding the sustainability appointments and any other committee.
Mhm.
But with all the amendments now, which is adding, I'll just make the motion and go down what we've added. So I'd like to make the motion to approve the agenda with what it has now. Under funding items, we are adding a discussion and possible motion to approve October 2021. We already have September's 2021. I think we talked about presentations being done, and I think what Fernanda was going to refer to is putting our presentations up at the top, right, Fernie?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's right.
And so that way we deal with them, but we also give them a certain amount of time
Mhm.
for the presentation and Q&A. And so we'll have the time going just to have respect for board members and the public. So we want to make sure that all of the people that are doing presentations know they have this time and that they'll have time to present and Q&A.
Yeah, I tried to bump them up to the top. I didn't, this is a shorter agenda. I think shorter than last time, we could bump up, the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 items with presentations like up to the top. I don't know. I just want to make sure that we get our business done too. So,
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of items on there. And I think most of them are presentations from what I'm looking at.
yeah.
So anything that has a presentation, the ones that they first contact you that are confirmed, like it's like you said earlier, like CD1, City Attorney,
Mhm.
they might not confirm to be there. It's just an item. But if we put the time there, we can just go right through it. If no one's in the room to talk about it, then we can just go ahead and write the letter and send it to them and then see what the response is, right? We're giving them the opportunity to come and discuss it with us and in front of the public.
Yeah.
But it's a hot topic and sometimes they don't want to be involved in hot topics. So that one, but stuff like this that I think it's like the Raves one, if Vicky Montes does the presentation on this, then the same thing, we give them 5 minutes to present, another 5 for Q&A in case somebody has it. Sometimes people don't have it. And Chinese anti-Chinese massacre, same thing, 5 minutes presentation, and then we give them an additional 5 for Q&A. And if we don't hear any Q&A, they can continue on with whatever time is left to explain or discuss more things. So I think if we keep it like that, the meeting will move good and we'll still get through all our business.
Yeah. Oh, I want to ask you another question. So we have past actions that haven't been resolved. And like one of them, I don't think it's maybe it would be an executive committee announcement or something, but it's about the San Antonio winery banners. So we've contacted CD14 Kevin De Leon and his field deputies 3 times, and the city attorney, and Beltran and Mike Fong, and we've gotten no replies. And this is highly illegal. Is it weird to invite CD14 to come and talk to our community?
Well, I mean, nothing's weird. I mean, it's all.
I mean, it's not an agendized item, but it's like something we need to follow up on. So, I mean, I could do like discussion, like a report,
Well,
an announcement on the banners, but I just don't think they'll show up.
Yeah, that's more reason why maybe we need to write a second letter out to them.
I mean, I wrote one and I sent it multiple times. And yeah, and then it's just good to follow up on some of these actions, like the attack at Sierra Street in Happy Valley. It's very complicated, yeah.
Well, and if not, I think what we can do later is just like any other board would do, we might have to ask the public for help on this and send emails requesting that they participate in the meeting, because this is an important issue to the community.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's something we can do. I mean, I think we should call first in the office before we put another letter on or a discussion, and maybe it should be the discussion for the November meeting. But really reach out, really do everything we can to say, look, we did everything, as they would say, civilly. But there comes a point in time when your local government is not receptive to you. What else do? You don't just sit back and say, oh, well, they're too busy for us, right? They've done that to us our whole lives.
I mean, the city attorney or the chief executive officer, it's like you have the ethics commission, but they're appointees, right? So they're under, they do what Garcetti wants them to do. But these banners are supposed to be scrutinized by the city attorney, they crack down on this stuff. The only way they can put these banners up is by having our name on them. Jose Rodriguez was at our first meeting and he was at the first Excom on May 13th. And he introduced himself, and they've never attended another meeting, and we've invited them over and over. So they really need to, I hear that other councils have their field deputies present at every meeting. There's definitely something going on in their office and everything.
I'll just say one thing. I think we're talking back too much.
What do you mean?
We're talking back too much. Well, we're requesting. We're actually.
I thought there were laws.
They're laws, but sometimes when you ask too many things and they don't want to talk about it, they say you're bad. You're being disruptive. But I think that's what the councils have to do. I mean, it's the one thing they were designed for, right? To build the public, and they bridge us to the city elected officials. But in our case, our city elected officials covering his ears saying blah, 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 blah. I don't care what you want, even if you have the evidence,
Yeah, I mean.
All we're simply asking for is come in, have this discussion. It's very important because it's a location. If there's legal matters, then we gotta, one of the public even said, that they're going to throw us with the city attorney or not, but there is a way to do it. That's why the attorney general gets involved. When you have the city, which is Cedillo, who took it away from us, and we are city elected officials too, even though they're trying to dismantle that. And he can't represent, it's a conflict of interest to represent both parties. That's when the state should step in. So maybe a letter to the attorney general to step in on the matter of the issue. But I think that's something that we have to look into, because yeah, we have to have some type of legal ramification.
Yeah.
They are using our names.
God, what is the quote? Yeah, I mean, it's like, has city council ever read the inscriptions and quotes that are carved on City Hall? Like I have my City Hall book here. Let me grab it. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, I believe they have. The problem is that when it doesn't serve their purpose, they tend to turn a blind eye.
Gosh, yeah, I mean, it's a really good, it's a quote that's longer than what's inscribed, but it's about Jesus. Anyway, I can't find it right now, but it's about banging. Oh God, what is it? City Hall inscription. Sorry, inscription. Anyway.
No. I mean, but you're right. They don't follow what's there. They don't follow what's in the charter. I mean, that's why some of these things that we're doing is we have to push forward to set that ground, and we do need to find our way, because, like they said, whenever you get anything from the city clerk or the Empower LA team, it's always, we advise you, but then they twist your arm and say, you better do it. Well, that from a legal perspective, advisement is we don't have to take it. Thank you for your advice and your excuse. And then the city attorney does the same thing. We are going to advise you. And so if you're advisory to us, then that means we're our own body. That means we do have autonomy to do what we need. And then we got to go get recognized by LAPD, right? To say, hey, look, the city attorney won't help us, and neither will the Empower. So we want to file charges against, San Antonio Winery for using the public's name without permission. I mean, look, it's a very legal mess. It's at the discussion in a lot of places right now. It's been there.
I mean, we're forbidden to communicate with state and federal agencies. We're only, Dunn has reprimanded me for, we wrote a letter to DTSC, right? And the city tried to chop it down. But it's like, what can you do when you're the person you're advising doesn't listen to you, and the city doesn't listen to you either, but you're doing the right thing,
Well, that's why you push, and the key word you use is advice. That's a legal term that they use, advisement, or like they're trying to walk around it with good practices, right? Well, nothing that's mandated is ever told to us, right? You shall have to do this. No, they strong arm you with the words that they use. So I think with this one, I think we really got to dig into it, right? And if we have to bring this up on a bigger topic, let's bring it up in a committee in our rules. So that we can start having this discussion more openly before we bring it onto the board. Yeah, because it is an important one, because right now they're trying to take away that we're not elected officials and we're volunteers, and that is going to cause a whole different mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I found my quote. Oh, okay. So it's from the Ralph M. Brown Act. The people of this state do not yield their sovereignty to the agencies which serve them. The people, in delegating authority, do not give their public servants the right to decide what is good for the people to know and what is not good for them to know. People insist on remaining informed so that they may retain control over the instruments they have created. So these instruments that we have created are our councilman and the mayor. And then, the other quote is, where is it? A people cannot have the consciousness of being self-governed unless they attend themselves to the things over against their own doors. The real imperialism, the real oppression, the real political slavery is the intrusion of power from without into a local condition. If we are to have self-government in the large, we must first have it in the small. Government must be distributed among localities according to the local interests. The conditions that reign at a distance, the desires of men who live at a distance, must not determine the life of any community. If we are to keep our local institutions pure, a second condition must be that every individual citizen does his part. Voting and other political actions must be conceived as a duty, not merely as a privilege. If we leave the management of our affairs to men who want to get office or emolument for themselves or their friends, or to men who have set themselves apart to the special work of running politics, then have we accepted an oligarchy. We are no longer a democracy. When no one is willing to do anything for the city except those who expect to get out of the city something that they perhaps do not deserve, then is the city in genuine trouble and well on the way to destruction. Yeah, that's the
That's our path.
yeah, that's carved on the western side of City Hall. The guy from UC, I forget his name, but I mean,
I think that's why
it's not a joke. I mean, our civil rights, with these, the silencing of the people at city council, commenting periods are very short. Can't even get on there. And then, with protected speech and right to organize. And
I think the main standing of all that is going to be one thing: one person, one vote.
Mhm.
The oligarchy only survives of the ignorance of the people not understanding, purposely of the system, the civics of it. And that's one of the things that the people have to wake up to that. And that's one of the things that, when we talk about these issues and we bring them up, we're being bad people to the system, right?
I mean, it's a management committee form of government, right? Management committee, manager committee form, right? And then we're a microcosm of that model, like neighborhood council, right?
Well, not necessarily, because the neighborhood council is a very different system in the charter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is completely separated from a lot of other things that like power, right? Most of like the neighborhood councils should have been appointed, not elected. But when you become elected, you earn these certain little points that the city doesn't want you to know about, which is your autonomy away from the structure. That's why we have only advisory. So there's a lot of legal stuff that comes out of it in its creation. We were looking at it when they were building it in 2004 when Garcetti had this great idea for it, but would be his first nightmare down the road, because you actually did something good without knowing you did, thinking he could control what's there. But now you have these discussions where like, hey, we have our autonomy, but then you got Bonk coming out and like saying, hey, we're going to put your digital rules down. And now these aren't advisory. Now you have to follow, or we can strip you of your right to be on that board.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my flow chart. I was trying to pick apart the model, and all the commissions and departments, and find parallels, and it's all crazy.
But on these issues, like on the agenda items that we have here, I think that if we wait on that one and put it in November and try to get it on like our we can put it in a committee, like in the outreach committee, one of the committees, so that we can reach out and figure out if the elected officials are going to come or not and confirm that, so we don't drown the meeting out. Okay, we will give them the time, 5 minutes for a presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A, but just so that we don't drown it out, and we'll give them the time. If they show up, hallelujah, and if they don't, we'll press it and put it more where we have to reach out to the public to send emails to them and request them. And I think something like that would help us out a lot more than trying to push. But we can put them on now. That's why I say we leave them on, give them the 5 minutes, and like Fernie said, let's put the presentations up to the top. And like I said, if they don't show up or anything, then we just keep going down our agenda. But,
the city, CD1 with he hasn't been present at Lincoln Heights Council meetings since, I guess, the 5 lots protest. But with Avenue 34, our community made a demand. We demanded a public forum, a public discussion, and a seat at the table, and we were denied that. And the community gathered 3,700 public community statements. I don't know if CDO ever read them, but I email him and Jose, our area rep, all the time. On the last meeting, I asked them to come and talk about Paradise Hill, and they declined. It's weird because the area reps The field deputies go to the Echo Park NC meetings every month. Other council meetings, I just, there's,
I just think if they decline, then we should send it to outreach and have an email blast sent out requesting that the public that is on our outreach request that their representative come. And they're not going to listen to their first step, right? But I think that's the type of pressures that we got to put out, and we have the YouTube, and we should interview people and do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, so we have this COVID lockdown, right? But I mean, Cedillo's office on Fig, right? I don't know. It's been kind of closed for a long time. I think it's still closed, right? So there's no way. Okay, so like he's physically present at city council meetings, or city council meetings, and he's meeting with constituents who are vaccinated in his office for on the record and off the record conversation. But if anybody from the public, if any constituents want to talk to Gil Cedillo, they actually have to go to City Hall and risk getting arrested to even talk to the man,
Well, we asked to talk via Zoom. It's the same thing. I mean, and there's no reason why he could use anything of COVID other than his personal schedule conflicting. So that's what we might have to do, is let's have a community meeting on this.
I mean, I even invited him to take a walk with me, like take a tour with me of Avenue 26 night market, so I could show him, the public safety risks. There were things that the community, the 10-foot tall piles of rotting garbage with rats, or whatever. He didn't even reply. But it should be a requirement for the position, right, that you interface with your advisory board.
That's why I think sometimes we got to turn the heat up on it. And I think the public, it works good if we can do an email. We can put his email on it, send a blast out, have the public, contact him and come to the meeting. We're setting it up.
I mean, it really discourages the kids. It's kind of like the Avenue 34 paid callers. We never received an apology or justice from that. But what am I saying? It's, you just feel like, what's the use, and then it's like, if he's not even listening to the neighborhood council, then we have to jump higher than the mayor,
No, and those are the highlights that we have to put out. That's part of why we were elected, to challenge the system. And that's exactly what we're doing. We just got to be smart about it and put it out. And we have platforms that most grassroots organizations don't have, but I'm pretty sure there's other organizations we can reach out to come up and say, hey, look, this is a neighborhood council. This should be your first stop for community issues. And if we don't even get our reps here, or your reps from Dunn or the council office, then, because I don't want to end up saying what the purpose of neighborhood council is. There's a huge purpose for it, right? But if they're neglecting it, then they're neglecting their constituents. And I think that's why an outreach, a campaign to bring these issues up, all the issues that we brought up and we didn't get attention on, and have the public contact and see, we can only try those tactics as we go along to see if he responds to them.
I mean, it's kind of just like the time and place, like NCs were formed in the early 2000s, like 2002. They imposed kind of like historic / the boundaries were contentious, or whatever. They were just imposed on communities, right? But it was part of like DTLA, right? The specific plans. And now the communities are sort of, these specific plans, like the CASP, or every specific plan. I mean, they were designed like 20 years ago, so they're no longer equitable. And people are standing up to TOCs and everything, and the city's just kind of like, it's like Cedillo's motion about TOC revisions. He's just like, oh, our hands are tied. Like the city planning commission's hands are tied. Like we don't have the tools to change state policy or something.
That's what that's what that statement you read has: one vote, one person. So unless we organize a vote against the candidates, right? You're always going to have that oligarchy sitting there. And that's the bottom line with it. That's the only way they lose seats. The only time there's ever been political revolt, but that comes up to the public. Maybe that's something we can put on our outreach to have civic classes to have
Mm,
people more engaged to understand how it works.
Um,
There are things that we could put on there, but I think for like this agenda,
uh-huh.
I think that if we just keep it the way it is right now and we add like the minutes and we add the MER for October, I
Mhm,
think we're good for right now, but we should strategize in outreach how to if we get a decline or no answer, no show,
mhm,
then we should have an automatic email that goes out asking the public, look, this is the issue at hand. We sent out a letter, we didn't get no response. We've called, made all the attempts we did. And so now we have a public campaign to, call out Civio on the issue. Let's work it because we need to have that discussion in our neighborhood council.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because so many of the obstacles that we're running into, like, say, it's like the San Antonio winery banners, right? It's like a lot of investment, real estate investment, real estate investors and developers own many corporations and LLCs, and like there's shady stuff going on, right? And then they're also donating to the politicians. And so if you look on, for instance, Cedio's second yearly, whatever, the campaign contributions for the new election, right? He's receiving donations from Atlas Capital, from the developers that our community is like terrified of and we're standing up against. Yeah, it's really, I mean, the information's public. We just, it's like, wow, well, maybe they're not removing the illegal street banners because the person who put them up there, it's like there's some, relationship, with the city or whatever.
I think we dive into it, but I think the agenda, let's approve it the way it is now, and then let's set something. Let's have a committee meeting so we can talk about this more in the committee and put more time to it and see if
Okay.
we can get on outreach.
All right, so
But
I'm gonna send out the emails to everybody, to all the presenters. I'm gonna have like two, as many sides as I can get. We'll bump those up to they'll be the first items. Yeah. Hopefully the people come. Yeah, and we're just adding a couple things. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll read the motion and hopefully I got everything in. So the new motion to approve is the agenda for our October 7th, 2021 meeting.
Mhm.
It's going to include what's on the agenda now. We're adding one funding item to it, which was an MER for October the 22nd. We're also adding a section for our minutes, and I don't know the months yet, but we'll have up to 3 minutes on there, 3 sets of minutes.
Mhm.
We're also adding the items under new agenda, and we're prioritizing them to presentations first.
Mhm.
On confirmation, and even if they're not confirmed, we'll just put them in and then we'll go down. And then I think there was one more. No, I think that was it. Those were the top things we were going to put on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and on committees, we were also going to appoint committee members to the committees that did not have appointments and to the sustainability committee.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
that's it.
Oh, and I talked to the fireman at the fire department. I was walking around. I think his name was John. Super nice guy. We were talking about the open sewer there on Pasadena Avenue where cars keep crashing into almost launching off the freeway or whatever. It's been going on for years, but he said that he wanted to come and talk to the council about, fires in our hills and stuff like that. But maybe that will be
Under
something
public
for a later
comment
agenda.
Okay.
or under
On
public.
this one, can we get a second on the motion I made?
I second.
Then let's, Sarah, I don't have no more board member discussion, but we have to go to the public.
Okay.
Before we move on to the public section, only because there was a comment of public section running over 2 minutes, which is not true because I have been timing them. I think it'd be a good idea if you pull up the timer when it's public comment and then count down from 2 minutes for each person so that they can also see they're not running over 2 minutes?
I mean, the 2 minutes, it's like if you let somebody else go over 2 minutes, then you have to give everybody else that amount of time. But I mean, I think that, you know, we need our community members talking, you know what I mean? So, let's see how it goes at the general board. The timer's a good idea, yeah.
Are
Right.
we moving on
We're
to,
going to public comment on, so right, yeah, public comment on, public discussion on the agenda, on the item, on the Excom agenda. For
we
the
have 2 hands raised.
Okay. First, can somebody pick them?
Okay, let me get them right now. Just preparing the timer.
Uh-huh.
Can everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is public comment on the agenda items. Let me go here. Okay, Puppet.
Wow, a whole 2 goddamn minutes for 9 items. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I'm really impressed. So again, another thing you might want to bring up that, according to a snitch, yeah, at the redistricting commission, 7-hour meeting, it appears that Gil Cedillo's chief of staff made an ex parte communication. No shit. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a public record. That's why we know about it. Gil's more interested in getting Union Station into CD1 than worrying about your problems. So, I just hope, and again, Goat Puppet just loves Gil Cedillo and his team. I hope that people here aren't going to be lobbying to put the El Pueblo and all of Union Station into CD14 and screw CD1 out of that asset. I could never imagine something like that happening. No. And maybe Lincoln Heights lobbying to be put into CD14. Another sneaky maneuver. There are many sneaky maneuvers that Goat Puppet will see in the next few months. And the agenda is filled with drama, innuendo, conspiracy, and the all-encompassing lease. What happened to the lease? Why are you being treated just like Felipe Fuentes treated the Sunland Tujunga Neighborhood Council over in CD7? Yes, before there were masks, Goat Puppet used to drive over there and go to all their meetings and drove Felipe Fuentes to leave California. Well, actually Sacramento. Yes, we got him out of there. Oh, I like that music. Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Okay, we have caller and user.
oh, do I get 2 minutes of karaoke?
All right, so we have another public commenter.
Yeah. Caller and user 2, please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello, caller user 2, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hey.
Okay, I started my timer. I just sent you an email regarding under the Brown Act about non-committee members, because one thing that Dunn loves to do is not give you citation. As part of my people in practice, citations mean everything. That means you can defend yourself. I don't know if you realize they don't respect you. Why would they? What can you give to them? And that's the problem. So what you do is you find out who their supporters are that do funding, and you start talking to them. They do listen. So if you want to make people come and talk to you, you got to talk to their funders. It's a miracle on what things happen. And I'm sorry to hear that the Dunn parasites don't show up to your meetings. Why would they? They don't respect you. Why would they respect you? You're trying your best. You don't have all the training. I could see that, but I'm not going to penalize you on that. But I do put stuff in writing, and I sent already an email.
All
Is that
right.
a glitch? Oh, yeah, I didn't catch the caller two's name. I just want to write it on my record.
Okay. Let me finish, Madam thing. I would like to reclaim 5 seconds or 7 seconds. The issue is when anybody from Dunn says something, always ask them for their something called points and authorities. It's a little legal term, but it's pretty well understood. That basically asks, what are you citing? Are you citing the Brown Act? What's the code section? Are you citing a rule? May I have a copy of that rule? Ask them for that, and always ask them by when will I get a copy by. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo. Okay, thank you, caller. Do we have any more public comments on our,
No more public comment.
okay, so we have a motion and we have a second, so I guess we go for a vote now.
Yes.
Roll call. Bernie?
I will now start vote. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Vincent,
Yes.
it's unanimous 4-4.
Yay! Oh, here's my gavel. Motion carries. It's unanimous. Okay, so this agenda has been approved for the next general board meeting on Thursday, October 7th at 6 p.m. LHNC General Board. Be there.
Okay, we have item 6. You have a second.
Oh. Oh yeah, not 6 is not agenda public comments. That's proposed for the general board meeting, like those bold things.
Okay, so these are not for right now, the public general.
Right. I mean, I was modeling the agenda off of the older agendas from, they had a lot of like kind of A, B, C's, D's, I's, E's, 2's, and
So this item 6 is for the agenda that what they're going to be 2 minutes now per person public comment.
yeah. So
Okay.
I'm adding a public comment at the end. We should have one at the beginning, at the end, and then for each agenda item. And then, yeah, we're adding, the attendance update is something very crucial. So I'm making a spreadsheet showing, just the absences and, the attendance for each board member.
Okay, then
Pass.
I'd like to make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
I want to thank the public for attending the meeting, and we hope to see you at our general board meeting.
Right. Motion carries and this meeting is adjourned. Like, that is 3 taps. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.